September 25th, 2007. Dear Diary. Well, it's official. I hate my job. A wise man once said that the only thing worse than having a job is looking for a job. And while I'm not 100% sure what that means, it looks like this hombre will be hitting the dusty trail soon enough. Now, Diary, you know me, and you know that I'm not one to complain. But I've been in Nashville for months now, and my ascension into superstardom is taking far longer than I'm comfortable with. If I am known for anything, other than my velvety smooth vocals, it is my meticulous planning. As a matter of fact, prior to packing all of my shit into my truck and hightailing it out of Maine as fast as humanly possible, I spent some time detailing my plan in a little something I cleverly named Lorne's Nashville Plan. And what's that, Diary? You want to hear Lorne's Nashville Plan? Well, buckle up, because you're about to hear some of the best planning since Hitler decided to invade Russia and not bother to bring coats or food. And you know how well that worked out. Week 1. Move to Nashville, drink. Week 2. Sing karaoke, get discovered, drink. Week 3. After tense bidding war, sign recording contract, movie, and book deal. Celebrate by drinking. Now, I happen to know that is almost the exact same plan a young Elvis Presley had when he moved to Nashville in 1926. This was, of course, prior to being discovered by Colonel Sanders while waiting tables at a Popeye's Chicken. Still, for whatever reason, here I am. Weeks overdue, and the only thing that I've done with any regularity is keep my daily date with sweet lady alcohol and her eager long-neck friends. Certainly at 36, I have the looks and natural charisma needed to break into the cutthroat world of country music. And as far as talent, well, I don't want to brag, but I happen to have a dream in which I won Star Search. Based on that highly contested finish versus my interracial doppelganger, Black Lorne, I would have to say that I am the most talented person in Nashville. You see, in my dream, Black Lorne was clearly more talented, but I got the necessary votes from the South to win in a landslide, so go ahead and say it, Diary. I can tell by that awkward pause that you thought that last sentence was possibly a tad racist, and my dream was somehow just a glimpse into my subconscious and feelings of superiority over others. You're also probably thinking it proves that I'm a narcissist, only seeing myself as true competition for myself. And you have come to the conclusion that I'm a closeted racist, right? Well, Diary, you can relax your generous college-ruled lines. Let me reassure you that Lorne Armstrong is no racist. As proof, I invite you to ask the buggy, loudmouth Mexicans next door if I'm a hate monger. See what they have to say. That is, if they can hear you over the constant hula music and the popping of Spam cans that continuously seeps through these paper-thin walls. You know, I actually heard them tell some kid the other day to not make contact with the ugly white guy next door because he is constantly borrowing things and may be a kitty diddler. I'll tell you what, I don't know who this unattractive jerk is who lives on the other side of them, but I will be sure to keep him away from Kayla. No way will I stand for some grown man kitty diddler getting in the vicinity of my 13-year-old girlfriend. That's just wrong. Gross. Would you look at that, Diary? Here I am yammering on about my day and career, and I've barely mentioned the love of my life, Kayla. I swear, the only thing easier than conversing with you is spending time with her. The banter between the two of us is pure comedy gold, and we really go at it tit for tat. I'm either talking to her like she's a toddler, or I'm incessantly quizzing her about minor, insignificant portions of her life and getting jealous like a prepubescent 12-year-old boy. She, on the other hand, behaves like a sassy teenager, pretending to feign interest, saying things like "K" or "cool" with the straight man comedic timing of a blossoming Amanda Bynes. Damn it. Remember her from the jailbait Nickelodeon shows I watched with my nieces? Now that little tease needs Amanda Bynes those wrists behind her back, if you know what I'm saying. Pound it, Diary. Booyah. Oh yeah, This was going to be a surprise, but while we're on the topic of television, check out my latest plan. When little KK turns 18, I will have already conquered both the country charts and the domestic box office. I decided that at that point, I'm going to invite camera crews to follow us around for a reality show. Note to self, search for Matt Damon on MySpace and pitch musical spin-off franchise The Lorne Identity when my album goes triple platinum. Anyways, we will be huge. Hell, we may even be on NBC, where I will undoubtedly become the biggest star there. Oh boy, diary, there I go again on another tangent. Could you even imagine me front and center on an NBC show with millions of viewers and cameras in my face recording my every move and reaction? I know it sounds like I have my head in the clouds. My mom always said, Lorne, the only cure for a head in the clouds is a cold pair of beer boots to bring you down. She is an amazing gal. BRB, diary. I'm going to go grab the foam dome hands-free double can hat and a couple of brews. Huh? You thought I sent the hat to Amanda James? Ha! Listen, man, I may have sent thousands of dollars in priceless collectibles, but I would never part with any sort of beer delivery system. Man, I may be an idiot, but I'm no moron. Be right back. Well, I'm back. I apologize for taking so long. I popped a couple of replacement cans in the foam dome and spent the next 15 minutes searching for AA batteries to put inside the hat. I couldn't remember if it was supposed to light up, say something, or make a loud farting sound, but obviously it was important to find out. I finally found a pair of batteries in that hilarious singing fish wall plaque my buddy Tony gave me for my housewarming. And then I realized that not only does the hat not take batteries, but I was no longer even wearing the hat. Apparently, I had a couple more beers than I thought. No matter. Instead, I jammed an icy cerveza in my shirt pocket, stuck in a silly straw, and voila, the poor man's answer to the foam dome. Stupid poor people. After that, I made dinner. Little Juan's bean and cheese burritos, microwaved just the way Mama made them. Unfortunately, my frantic wild limb cooking style led to beer spilling down my stomach and legs. Bud was greedily drinking it off the floor. He is so precious. Well, after the feast, I chucked the paper plate and burrito wrappers in the direction of the garbage can and came back here to lie on the floor bed and regale you with more wit and wisdom. Let me see. What can I tell you? Oh, I got one. Okay, you ready? What do Lorne Armstrong and Humbert Humbert have in common? What? Who is... Oh, diary. Sometimes your ignorance befuddles me. For Christ's sake. I got D's in everything. But even I know the many works of Russian author Vladimir Nabokov. Humbert Humbert is the main character in the book Lolita. Jesus. Well, thanks for ruining a perfectly good setup and punchline with your typical close-minded stupidity. Alright, so what do Lorne Armstrong and Humbert Humbert have in common? We were both pushed over the edge by the feminine power of teenage vixens. You don't get it. Okay, allow me to explain. While I have often waxed poetic of my previous sexual encounters and amorous adventures, I can now admit that I may have been a tiny bit liberal with my recollections. I am what some would call a hopeless romantic and admittedly a bit inexperienced when it comes to some of the finer arts of wooing a woman. Case in point, I tried making some moves on Kayla early on and was often rewarded with only the bluest of balls, but today she behaved in a way that truly shocked me. It all started when I got home from work. After begging me to turn on my cam, Kayla informed me that she was on the computer with her slutty friend Jess. Mind you, diary, she didn't call her slutty, but it was definitely implied in the fact that she is a girl close to Kayla, so I inherently do not trust her. I plan to eliminate their friendship at a later date. After exchanging a few pleasantries, Kayla could sense some mental anguish I was under and immediately went into naughty girlfriend mode. I described a difficult day of telephone fundraising to her and my desire for a new job, but Kayla then flipped it around by telling me about her outfit. I'll tell you this, diary, there are a few problems a man will face that can't be fixed by a little bit of TNA. Would you believe it, diary? Underneath her skin-tight, hip-hugger jeans and cleavage-bearing tank top, she wore a skimpy black thong and a matching bra just for me. God damn it, there's a time and place. How dare her? I'm trying to vent and whine about my day and many, many problems, and she just wants to turn it into some sexual sideshow and disregard my feelings. Such a typical woman thing to do. I was livid. I quickly excused myself by making up a story about checking the answering machine. Of course, anyone who truly knows me knows I don't even bother to check the answering machine because it's nothing but bill collectors and that lady in Maine who owes me $30,000 for some custom work I did on her house but refuses to pay. She leaves messages saying, I never finished the job I was hired to do, and I bet she changes her tune when she sees me on TV. There will be books written about me, websites devoted to me. Hell, I will be bigger than God. That's when I will answer her calls and be like, how you like me now? Still pissed at Kayla's lascivious banter, I thought about calling Tony, but it was Journey night at the karaoke bar, and there's no way I could hit those notes. I've had this non-stop cold for what seems like forever. It started, coincidentally, when I began smoking the hand-rolled, unfiltered cigarettes, the ones they have on clearance down at the Save-A-Lot. It's not the cigarettes, though. I only go through a Ziploc bag per day. Was I overreacting, diary? I mean, I did like the feeling in my denim shorts, especially since the beer saturating them was no longer cold, but now a familiar urine temperature. But is this love? Or am I mistaken? Is Kayla just using me so that she can brag about the hot, balding, middle-aged telemarketer that she's banging down in Nashville? I've heard about this kind of thing happening before, and I'm not going to be another broken-hearted victim. I decided to tell Kayla exactly how I felt. I would not continue this superficial sexual relationship with her as it stands. She would either respect my personal boundaries, or she could find another grown man willing to both mentor and date a 13-year-old girl. I grabbed 2 more beers and got back in position, ready to fight for not only my honor, but for the very premise of love itself. Well, that's when Kayla hit me with the old 1-2. First, she tells me she was waiting for me, and you don't have to be John Stamos to figure out what that meant. This chick was hot for me, and waiting in a sexually suggestive pose. She then went on and on about how Derek is a puny loser, and promising me that she is never going to talk to him again. Diary, imagine me, Lorne Armstrong, jealous of some 13-year-old boy and needing reassurance that my girlfriend will stay away from him. The very scenario is laughable, absurd, and frankly, unbelievable. Undaunted, my fingertips had just made contact with the keyboard when she sucker punched me with the knockout blow. She mentioned pajamas, but only because I'm sure she couldn't spell lingerie. That's right, this little Lolita was wearing see-through lingerie and wanted me to know all about it. The next few minutes were a complete blur, but there was a lot of talk about what she wanted me to do to her and how I was to perform. That I remember. She demanded confirmation and made me repeat myself, almost as if she was grooming me, if that's the right word, to be her pleasure slave. Her sexually charged prose was absolutely intoxicating, and after about 5 minutes I felt a cold sensation sweep across my lower body. Ashamed, I looked down and it all came clear. Earlier, I had put 2 beers in my Velcro cargo pockets so that they wouldn't end up in my shirt again. They had completely slipped my mind when Special K took advantage of me. All the beer had run down my legs and pooled around me in small sudsy circles. Bud paced back and forth, lapping Milwaukee's Best out of the very carpet that I have often slurped it from. To be honest, diary, at this point, I didn't even care to fight him for it. By now, I was giving Kayla erotic yet titillating word puzzles, and I knew I was on the hook. When she coyly demanded I show her my penis, not once, but twice before she could go to bed, I was completely reeled in. Bud stumbled to a corner of the living room in a drunken stupor and urinated himself to sleep, and I laughed. Sometimes they really are just like people. Well, I should wrap this up before I dry any further. I want to wring out my shirt and shorts into a bowl and drink the leavings in honor of Humbert Humbert. May my story have a happier ending than his. As I recall, he ends up in jail and writing a book, fiction. Anywho, I've got an oyster full of liquid pearls and it ain't gonna shuck itself. I'll talk to you tomorrow, diary. Good night.